some channels.
Alright, so you can see here the body blank we've got put together for the new guitar. This type of wood is black Limba, and I actually got a relatively nice piece of it since, considering we had to buy it sight unseen, just from stock lumber. Fortunately, because we bought it that way, I've got a different laminate top picked out. It's going to be really nice once you get to that. I've got the shape drawn out so I can get a rough cut. And I actually did end up with some fairly nice grain, and I'd like to at least have that be somewhat visible, so the nicer side is going to be the back of the body. And I did manage to avoid this knot with the layout so far, so that should be good. Next step's go cut it out. Okay, you can see the rough cut I've got here, and unfortunately the boards were not a uniform thickness all the way across, so we've got a low spot in the middle, which I really don't want to have. So I'm going to have to sand down the outer edges and get this whole thing perfectly level. Alright, that should about do it. Alright, so now I'm just going to use drum sander to get the shape down to the line. shape all cut out. Some real nice end grain going on. Okay, so now that I've got my rough shape cut out and worked down to size, I've been able to lay out where some pockets need to be cut and some holes should be drilled. And go ahead and do that now so that I can get all that opened up, cut some paths in here so that all the wiring will be easy once I've got a nice laminate top on this. And it'll just make the whole process a lot easier. This body is also a bit heavier than I was expecting it to be to begin with. It's just the wood in general is heavier than I expected. So what I'm going to do to lighten it up and also add a little bit more resonance to it is I'm going to carve out some chambers around this area. Nice and cleaned up. Now I get to drill some pilot holes for where the pots and the toggle switch are going to go. I'm not actually drilling a wide enough hole for them to fit just yet. Just putting in the pilot holes so that there's an indication on the back of the guitar, so that once the laminate top goes on, I still have the layout set up exactly the way I want it. Next step is to make a path for the wires to get from the pickups into the cavity that's going to be drilled up from the back here. So I'm going to start by just carving around this way over to this general area. You can see we're clamping boards across the top and bottom of the body here, and that's to apply an even pressure all the way across. And here I begin cutting out the slot for the neck. I'm using a neck here that was left over from an earlier project to test the fit. I'm taking a lot of time right here to line up the holes for the bridge and tailpiece to make sure that they end up in exactly the right place. Now I'm just doing a quick test fit. And here I begin drilling out a pocket for the jack. Here I'm using some wood that's left over from making the body to make a plate that'll go on the back to cover up the pocket that houses the electronics. Just like the last guitar I made, I'm going to use the draw knife to start cutting away relief on the back. Just makes the guitar more comfortable to sit and play. Here I begin sanding the entire body by hand using higher grit sandpaper than my orbital sander can take. I'm beginning here with 320 and I work my way all the way up to 600. The finish I'm using here is a water-based acrylic. It worked very nicely for most of it, except the front of the body. It became very cloudy, made the grain difficult to see, which unfortunately didn't become apparent until after it dried. So, long story short, I hated the way the spray finish looked on the front of the body. So I've gone ahead and sanded it all off and resanded the body up to 600 grit sandpaper. And now I'm going to try a different finishing method. So the new finishing method I went with was to begin by wiping down the body with alcohol, and this would remove a lot of the surface oils from the wood. And after that I'm using a wipe-on polyurethane that's a high gloss finish. This turned out much better than the spray finish. Now a test fit of the bridge and tailpiece to make sure that their anchor points are properly positioned. Now I'm using some of the leftover wood from the laminate top to make a truss rod cover for the neck. Here I'm drilling some holes in the back of the head that the pins from the tuning keys will fit into. So, everything is done. Just have to attach the neck. It's a nice snug fit in the pocket here. You can tell, because I don't have the screws in it yet. I'm not holding it. The neck doesn't fall. It's a really good fit. Right. Looks good in there.